My 22-year-old daughter is bright, beautiful, articulate, and phonophobic. Yes, phonophobic. She doesn't like having conversations on the phone with strangers or even mere acquaintances. Apparently, she's not alone. On the train to work today, there was an ad for a company called Seamless. Seamless is a website that makes it, well, seamless to order food from a lot of different restaurants. This was the message. Your favorite part of having a smartphone is never having to call anyone. Don't call, order with the app instead, and avoid having any kind of human interaction. Someone should run some analytics on generational preferences about talking on the phone. Back when phones were in their infancy, people weren't afraid of talking to strangers. What they were really afraid of was that strangers would be listening to what they had to say. That was the downside of party lines. If you're younger than 80, or you've never had the pleasure of reminiscing with somebody older, let me explain. A party line, or shared service line as some people called it, was exactly like what it sounds like. Two or more customers were connected directly to the same local phone loop. You could talk to anyone on your party line, friends, neighbors, strangers, just by lifting the phone simultaneously. Before World War II, and for long afterwards for a lot of people, party lines were the typical form of residential service. You didn't have to worry about just your parents listening in on your phone calls. You had to assume that anyone else who shared your phone line was listening in too. Often, my grandmother assured me, they were. Think of it as the dawn of social media. Unintentional social media, that is. Anyway, party lines eventually faded away, only to be replaced with a more pressing concern, cost. Before cell phones became the norm, people used landlines, and they would time their long-distance calls to take advantage of the lowest calling rates. That meant you would usually have to wait till about 11 p.m. to call anyone that you wanted to have a lengthy conversation with. Ma Bell, the name everyone called AT&T before the government decided it was too big and ripped it apart, made sure phone service was pretty expensive. Cell phone service was pretty expensive to start too, but as competition for customers climbed, rates fell. And the cheaper it got to talk on the phone, a curious thing happened. An entire generation decided it didn't really like talking on phones anyway. Ever try contacting a teen by any method other than text? Yeah, well, good luck with that. He's not going to call you back, even if you leave him a voicemail. In fact, he won't listen to the voicemail. Maybe the fact that people have grown tired of talking is why the government looked the other way when AT&T put itself back together again. It's curious, though. Most of us are more comfortable writing a text, sending a tweet, posting to Facebook, or using an app than picking up the phone. We'd rather have a digital record of our every move than take a chance with a quick phone call that we could deny later. It's something to think about, especially before archivists start trying to convert some of the most popular movies of the past half-century for long-term storage. Someone a few generations from now might still enjoy the emotion of a classic movie like E.T. the Extraterrestrial, but they may be confused about one of the movie's most iconic moments, the creature's heart-wrenching longing to phone home.
Phone?